a lot of us focus on the outcome. We focus on the end product and not on the process. And this is a mindset shift that you need to make in order to change your life for the better. And this is a realization that I've recently had, something that really deeply, profoundly changed my life for the better, is to switch my focus from the outcome to the process. How do you do this? What happens when we focus on things that we can't control, or things that we can only in part control? So you really want abs and you really want a certain body type, but there's some aspects that you can't control. Yes, you can control how much you work out. Yes, you can control how you eat, but you can't control the exact outcome. Sometimes some people have a body type that just won't look like the one on Pinterest. And then we keep judging ourselves because we don't look like the outcome that we wished to achieve. What I noticed after a while was that was just creating misery, and it was demotivating me. And if you think about it, the only thing that you can actually control is your own actions and your own the things you do in order to get closer to that goal. So you shouldn't judge how successful you were by whether you achieved the goal or not, by whether you look exactly like the picture or not, but rather by how much did I invest in order to reach the goal that I set my mind to? How much did I act like the person that was on the board, you know? So you should start setting goals that are focused on the process rather than the outcome. Our society teaches us from a very early age that outcomes are what matters. We are compared on the basis of outcomes, you know? Your grades decide whether you get into college or not. It's not how much you studied, right? It's not how much you put in. It's not how much hours you spend at the library. It's the grade. It's black on white. But this thinking is not the way that it's supposed to go, because this just creates stress for you. This encourages a not persistence or performance, but what it does is it creates pressure to reach a certain standard, and it does not offer any information about how to get there. So in order to really improve your life substantially is to set process goals instead of outcome goals. If you think about it, almost every single outcome goal that you could set, for example, I want to have an A in the exam, has a process goal tied to it. So what would a process goal for this goal look like? Let's say I go to the library every single day for the next 30 days. I go there and I spend a minimum amount of 4 hours on focused work for that exam. That would be a process goal. See how this is way more concrete. It teaches you the exact steps that you need to take in order to achieve that goal. And this is also in alignment with the SMART theory. I don't know if you've heard about it before, but basically there's the SMART technique when it comes to goal setting. And every single letter stands for a certain attribute that the goal should have in order for you to achieve it. And it should be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But it should not only be those things, it should also be a process goal. So in order for you to be the person you want to be, is you need to stop focusing on the outcome of it, the other side of it, the mountaintop, but rather on the process, on the climb. So you have to really be specific about what you're going to do. It has to be measurable. So with the studying example, you have a specific amount of hours that you want to dedicate to this goal. It has to be achievable. So you can't go and tell yourself, I want to look like this Victoria's Secret model if you are a completely different body type and a completely different height. This is not something that's realistic for you. You could say, I want to be an athletic person. I want to spend so many hours in the gym, but you can't tie it to something that is unattainable for you. It should be realistic and it should be time bound as well. This is how you actually achieve your goals. And this is not just about goal setting. It's about a certain way to live your life. Because what happens when you consistently set these process goals and consistently keep showing up for yourself and achieving those goals and tying your self-worth not to the outcome of what you're going to achieve, but rather to the process. So you're going to start judging yourself by how much you put in. This is something you really have to train your mind to do. This is something I took a long time to do, to stop thinking, wow, I didn't get the grade I wanted to get, but at least I showed up every single day. I stuck to my plan for 30 days. I put so many hours in, and this was the best I could do. The last couple of months, I completely managed to untie those two things. The outcome has nothing to do with my goal anymore. It's just the process that I judge and how well I did during the process. And why I'm saying that this is not just a goal setting technique is this is a philosophy. Because what you're going to do if you're going to show up for yourself every single day, it's sort of like a deposit bank, okay? You're starting to earn trust in yourself. So you're going to make a list, okay? With the SMART. And you're going to write out process goals for every single goal that you right now have as an outcome goal in your mind. And then you're going to, when you have this process laid out, know exactly what you have to do at which time, and then you're going to actually do it and show up for yourself in the next following, 30 days, for example. What's going to happen is you're going to start building self-trust, because this is what happens in our minds. If we consistently show up for ourselves like we said we would, we start to build persistence. And this type of self-efficacy that you're building through showing up for yourself every single day, it creates a feeling of worth that no outcome could ever take away from you. This is what you have to flip this on its head. Society has taught us to be insecure because we're judging ourselves based on outcomes that are very, very individual. No, you should focus on what you do, because this is the only comparison that is fair. Because when you judge yourself based on outcomes, when you judge yourself based on what other people are achieving, the product of the processes of what other people are doing, then it's not fair, because you have a different baseline. The only person that it makes sense to compare yourself to is yourself. And you do that by comparing what you did yesterday with comparing what you do today. So stop judging yourself based on the outcomes of other people. This is extremely unfair to you. This is what changed my life in the last couple of months, really untying my self-worth from the outcome and focusing on the process instead. Setting smart goals, smart process goals that actually gave me a sense of direction and a sense of purpose every single day, because this is a byproduct. If you start to write out and map out what you have to do every single day, it gives you a sense of urgency and purpose. Because if you just set this big fat goal of I want to be a millionaire by 25 and not have any concrete actionable steps or processes that you define for yourself, like, okay, I'm gonna start getting into this type of business, I'm gonna educate myself on this, gonna do that, then your goals just stay goals. So yeah, I hope that you guys could take something from this video, and I see you guys in the next video. Bye.